So my name is Bret Bernhoft, and on Twitter you can find me at @thefaceofmedia. And there's going to be three main sources of tools that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about public records, going to be talking about Google API and Twitter API. But before we begin, there are some things that we need to kind of go over. Good information, what is it? First of all, good information has transaction potential. Second of all, it's typically not widely known. Good information is hard to come by. Third of all, it's up-to-date and accurate, hence Google and Twitter. And fourth, it creates new insights. But with these, what does that actually mean? There's no such thing as free lunch. Traditional barriers to entrance were such as ownership of information by the collector, scarcity of the information, the cost of both dollars and money, as well as the tools. They just didn't exist. But in today's world, they exist everywhere. They're on the internet and they're ready for you to use. Now, many of the small gifts, modern information realities, such as information has become good manners. Finding the good tools of information is knowing the right tools, and information has never been more valuable. Now, this is my caveat. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. When it comes to free information, just because you have it doesn't mean you should use it. Just because it exists doesn't mean you should aggregate it. So you have to use you should use your own sense of good judgment. So here's the free tools that we're going to be talking about: Podcast, TouchGraph, Cloud.li, Search.twitter.com, and People.com. Now, podcasts. Most everyone is familiar with what a podcast is, but if you're not, a podcast is... Thank you. A podcast is essentially a downloadable or a streamable audio file or video file, if you want to call it a vodcast, that allows you to view content on a small mobile device. The impact is that it's one of the fastest growing ways to spread information. Now, the next one is TouchGraph, and it's touchgraph.com, and if you want to go to their tool, go to their demos. It visualizes connections between people according to Google's API, and it enables you to see the way things are related to each other. So that image is actually me. Now, the other one is Cloud.li. It's literally www.cloud.li. And these tools, this actually allows you to view sentiment on Twitter in live time in a visualized format like a live tag cloud. This is the best tool that I know of. So if you're going to take away anything, that was it. Now, everyone knows about search.twitter.com. Search.twitter.com is your opportunity to find specific instances from Cloud.li or from Twitter and find people who are talking about certain things. So if you haven't heard of search.twitter.com, go there either right now or after I'm done, preferably after I'm done. People.com. This is where public records come into play, and this is really where the moral of the story is asked. Just because you can find out where someone lives doesn't mean anything substantial beyond what you do with it. Just because you can find out where someone is doesn't mean you should go there and find them. But now, this is where we're going to get into some of the cool things. TouchGraph plus search.twitter.com. So you take an idea or an organization of interest, you find an influencer, and you ultimately go out and find the specifics. So you're able to actually create an opportunity to engage. So the next tool set is my favorite one, and we'll wait. Okay, podcasts. So you're able to listen to a podcast, come up with an idea. So you need a way to actually find an idea, which is a podcast. You find search.twitter.com. You use search.twitter.com, and it actually allows you to find a specific instance of what someone's doing, and then you go back to podcasts with your own message. So this is that you're able to actually create a message round trip. So it's like you start the cycle and you return the cycle. Okay, and another combination of a tool is search.twitter.com plus people. So you find a specific influencer that you want to have a relationship with, and then you use people.com to find out who in the heck they are, their blogs, their social media, and all sorts of other relevant topics or accessory information pieces that you want to go along with that. And you're actually able to profile the individual based on free public information. Now, the last one, now these are specific results from each tool individually or independently. The first one is podcast, to learn and to share. TouchGraph is to discover new connections. Cloud.li is to understand sentiment. Search.twitter.com is to find specific people. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. This is the one thing that I want to stress, is that information is everywhere. Eventually it's going to become ubiquitous. You're going to be able to see through your own eyes information in the real world. But just because there is information doesn't mean you should use it. So it's up to your own moral judgment to make that decision. My name is Bret Bernhoft, and these are just a few of the free tools that I know of. Thank you very much.